All right, y'all. So presumably, a lot of you are going to be using pictures in your film projects in addition to video clips, and obviously that is a great idea. Now, when it comes to using pictures, one of the things that you want to prioritize is doing what you can to make sure that you're maintaining that cinematic quality in your work. So, for example, we've got three photos here that were included in our practice assets. We've got this picture that was taken of Bowman Field, this one of some artwork in downtown Clemson, and then this one of the Greetings from Clemson mural. All right. So when we play these back, they're playing together in sequence, almost like I'm trying to create sort of a collage effect. Let's see what that looks like in its present state. All right, so there is one issue with these pictures. Now, obviously, we've already done a little bit of editing, so we've changed the sizing of them so that they are taking up the entirety of the frame when they play. But the issue is that they are very static right now. We lose that sense of motion of kinetic energy that you want to maintain in filmmaking. So the best way to do this is by introducing panning and zooming when you are using still images. So let's say, for example, that I just want to add a little bit of motion to each one of these images here. There's a couple of ways that you can do that. One of them is very simple. You simply take your cursor. You're going to select each of these assets, so all of them, they're grouped together. You're going to head up here to the effects control. All right, we were in transitions recently. For pan and zoom, it's very easy. You are simply going to toggle that over, and that is going to tell Adobe Rush to automatically apply some sort of motion graphics to each one of these images right here. So it's essentially doing the work for you. Let's go ahead and play that back, and let's see what it looks like. All right, very good. So, yeah, that in and of itself takes care of the issue, because the images they pop off the screen a little bit more so at us. So that will help you to maintain a little bit more of that movie-like quality. Now, you can also do this with each image individually, and this is a very useful technique if there is some element in a picture that you really want to try and direct your audience's attention towards. Let's take this picture, for example. Again, the wide-angle photograph taken of Bowman Field. We've got Old Main there, sort of in the middle ground. Let's say that when we are doing our when the motion takes place, I really want my audience's eyes to ultimately settle on Old Main. What you can do is, we've got this individual photo selected, this individual asset. You're going to go ahead, toggle pan and zoom on it. Let's go and click on the drop down. All right. And what you're going to do is, you've got two boxes here to work with. One of them is the starting box. The other one is the ending box. All right. Now, you really don't have to do much with the starting box. That's just indicating what the beginning view of your image is going to be. For our purposes, we really want to focus on where we're going to end up once we get towards the end of the clip's duration. All right. So we're going to go back to that. Let's go ahead and move that box around a little bit so I've got it settled squarely on Old Main. You can reduce the size of it, cropping out a little bit more of the picture, and that way Old Main becomes a sort of front and center for us. All right, so let's go ahead and play that back now that we have altered the motion of that asset individually. much better. Now, obviously, y'all, that's a pretty significant change in view, going from the more wide angle look to a pretty sharp magnification on one element of the picture. All right. So as you can see, that happens pretty quickly, all right? Now, if you want to slow it down just a little bit, just again, making sure that your video is as pleasant to watch as possible, you can simply increase the duration of this asset. Now, this is something that is new for Adobe Rush. I'm not going to lie to you. I just learned the other day that it was possible to do this. It was not that long ago that Adobe Rush set the default duration for pictures at 2 seconds, and you could not change it. So they have changed it, and it is for the better. So let's go ahead. We're going to take our cursor. Again, we've got that individual asset selected. We're going to take the cursor. You see we've got that directional bracket. We're going to click and drag. We're going to increase the duration of this photo by a couple of seconds. Obviously, the image remains there as sort of a thumbnail. Do not mind this purple filler right here. This is just indicating that, again, that this clip lasts more than just a couple of seconds, okay? So let's go ahead and play that back, and let's see how that looks now. We should have a much slower progression now, going from the wide angle to the more close-up effect. Much better. So that magnification is not happening instantly. Once again, it is a little bit more pleasant for your audience to watch. Let's do the same thing with this one right here, just for practice. So we've got it selected. We are going to expand it. I'm not going to take it too terribly far. Again, you've got the picture here, the original image as a thumbnail. The rest of this here is just indicating the length of this asset. Let's go ahead and let's do the same thing. We're going to toggle the pan and zoom on. So we've got the two boxes here. Let's focus on that end box. And let's say that I want to start off with a little bit of a wider scope here as far as what we see, but I really want to focus on this piece of art, the one that is a little bit more foregrounded. I'm going to move that around. I'm going to decrease it a little bit so that we get a little bit more of that close-up effect, all right? And because the duration of this asset has been elongated, this should be a pretty gradual progression. Let's see what it looks like. All right, very good, very good. Let's play them back together. All right. Loses a little bit of its effectiveness when you don't have any other sound, narration, or music to accompany it, but I think you get the idea. Between altering the duration of your still images and adding motion to them, once again, you're creating a work that is much more compelling, a lot more eye-catching, and therefore much more persuasive.